Greetings, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Soul Awakening Sanctuary Movement. Well, yours truly, Chief Apostle Veronica Israel, is the Chief High Priestess, Global Spiritual Leader, Teacher, Guide, Founder, and Prophetic Voice for this movement and this space. This is a sacred and safe space for everyone, where love is God and God is love and love is for everyone. So welcome. Greetings, everybody. Come on in the room. Greetings, everybody. Peace and blessings to everybody. Come on in the room. Call him, tell him what you want. Call him, tell him what you want. Call him, tell him what you want. Call him. Greetings, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. Greetings, Dr. Stacey Anderson. Welcome. Hope you're doing well today, beloved. We ask in the name of Jesus, it shall be done. Greetings, everyone, to today's live session of the Soul Awakening Sanctuary Movement. Welcome. All is well. Thank you for asking. Come on, give it praise. Give it praise. As you come and share the live, tag a friend, tag a neighbor, repost, share it to at least 10 or 11 people. Welcome, welcome. Tap the screen. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. We made it. It's Wednesday. Aren't you happy? We're halfway through the week.
Take your seat if you can. Well, I can understand how you feel, but choir, y'all not finished. Listen, I know this is a recording. Y'all, we gonna do no. See, the world don't want to see us shout. The world want to see us sing. No, it don't supposed to go down like this. Harvey, you been quite a year.
Welcome, everybody.
What we have prospered in this pandemic.
I felt something right there.
I don't know about you.
Welcome, everybody. We are here in the spirit of freedom and liberty. We are here experiencing spirituality from an expanded conscious space. One thing I love, I may have left organized religion and indoctrination, but my spiritual connection to our songs, our hymns that flow through our blood. Oh, I ain't changed from that, honey. Because the words that we sing have power. So welcome into this space today, this sacred and safe space where you are welcome.
Because anything I don't have in my hand, I can create it with my feet.
One thing about a lot of people oftentimes don't look at it, but the church taught us how to conjure, how to say certain words, how to do things to invoke the presence of the divine, to wake it up in you. Our songs, our ring shout, our dance, it's all from our culture. And today we have a wonderful topic talking about the dangers of spiritual bypassing, facing not escaping our shadows. That's our topic today. Anybody needs something to happen? Anybody needs a breakthrough? Speak it into the atmosphere. Begin to declare it. Begin to affirm that it's happening right now. Whatever you need, begin to affirm that I have what I need. Greetings, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. In just a moment, we're going to begin our discussion for today. The dangers of spiritual bypassing, facing, not escaping our shadows. We're going to teach you about stop hiding behind love and light, because you can't heal what you won't face. Oh, I said you cannot heal what you won't face. So stick with us today. As you come in, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. Give us greetings in the comments section. We're happy to have each and every one of you. You may be on your lunch break, dropping in. We're so happy to have you. Come on in the room. As you come in the room, tap the screen, press those hearts, press the share button, repost. Share it to at least 10, 11 people. Repost it, you share it. Invite a friend, invite a neighbor, tag a neighbor. Somebody who you know needs to be awakened to the divine power within them. Sometimes all you need to tell the universe, the creator, the Most High is yes. Just say yes. I've denied my spiritual power for long enough. I've denied my soul what is desired. But now I just say yes and I surrender so that I can transform. Oh, yes. Hey, 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 hey. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that little praise break to get you your energy flowing, your spirit realigned. So, beloved souls, welcome each and every one of you. Those on YouTube, those on TikTok, welcome one and all. Welcome to the Soul Awakening Sanctuary Movement live stream session with yours truly, Chief Apostle Veronica Israel, the Chief High Priestess, Global Spiritual Leader, Teacher Guide, Founder, and the prophetic voice for this hour in this space. So we're so happy to have you. So we invite you, if you're looking for a space where you can come in and feel free, experience spirituality from an expanded consciousness perspective, that you can unlearn the lies that you've been told, that you can reconnect with your roots, this is the place for you. Welcome home. Now, everything that may be said or you may hear in this space, you may not agree with. If that's the case, you're more than, we bless you on your way. You can keep strolling. But if you're ready to transform your life so that you become the best version of yourself, we invite you to stick around, because surely there's something that will be said that will support you on your spiritual journey. Because we're all on a journey. We are all on a journey. And we should be trying to reach the same destination: spiritual enlightenment, reconnecting with our higher self, reconnecting with our divine essence, remembering who you are, who you were before you even got into this earthly existence. Before we get started, let me say this. My spouse and I were talking last night and talking about, which I normally don't mention, about certain topics, but I know it's touchy subjects like abortion and different things like that. And we were talking, and I said, well, I have my own personal views about certain things. I said, but what I will say this is that, especially from an African cosmology in perspective, I said a lot of times, sometimes people are not aware or understand that not only two people come together, whether in love or lust, and co-create together a baby. The divine and the two people that come together to create a baby. But not only that, you come to create the baby, but the soul that's going in the body to which you're creating, that individual, that soul chooses these two people to come through their loins, through their womb. So everybody is making a decision. The child, the soul in which is going to come through the body, in that person's body, and then the parents and the divine. Everybody's making a choice here. And so know that your existence didn't just start when you came out of your mother's womb. You already pre-existed. So remembering where we come from. That's why children are so holy and pure, because they just left the presence of the universe, the divine, the creator. They just came into the earth realm. And so they're the purest thing, closest thing to the divine, the closest thing to spirit. That's why children are very spiritually sensitive. Be careful and watch children when they're around somebody who's evil, somebody who don't mean no good, somebody that has a bad energy. They don't want to be around them. They cry, they holler, they don't want you picking them up. Because they sense something about you, and their spiritual senses send off alarms and say, something's wrong with this individual. Another thing we got to be careful. We got to be careful about forcing our children to be social or friendly or, with certain family members. When you know clearly, thank you for the follow. Greetings, Empress 333. We have to be careful because a lot of times our children can sense certain things that we overlooked, and we force them. Give your uncle a hug. Give your auntie a kiss. Honey, you don't know. You have to be careful, be in tune with spirit and be in tune with your children So you can pick up when something's not right. You can pick up when something is wrong. Yes, true. There's no manual that comes with raising children. However, if you listen to your inner guidance system, your intuition, your divinity in you, you will be guided. What steps to take, what you should be doing, you will be guided. So the question is, are we open for guidance? Are we open to guidance? So we just don't be doing what our parents did, but does it align with us? Think about it. Because yesterday, as we spoke, there are a lot of patterns and belief systems that we hold and that cycles we're in is because we inherited. We have inherited. And we have to view it to see, does this line up with where I am? Spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, physically. Oh, yes, that's right, Dr. Stacy. We have to be open to guidance. A lot of times why we make poor decisions is because we have been ill-informed. We have not been given the education. We've not been taught. We've not been given all the facts for us to make an informed decision. And oftentimes, why we didn't get the facts, why we didn't get the education, why no one taught us, nobody showed us, is because of pride and ego. It is because our stance on not being open to guidance. None of us knows it all. That's why I tell people, if you really want to learn, if you really want to get to where you want to get to in life, where you know your highest potential, learn when you are amongst people who clearly already been there, done that, have the wisdom, and got everything to show for it. Shut up and listen. The book of Proverbs says that a fool is known by his words. You don't have to try to figure where people at. Just listen to them talk. Let them talk. They will, as the elders used to say, they'll tell on themselves. Because your words will betray you. Because out of the heart, the mouth speaks. You can try to hide it, but whatever is deep down inside, gonna come out. At some point, it's gonna come out. Because you can fool some people some of the time, but you can't fool everybody all the time. So we have to be willing to hush and learn. Even if you already know it, it's nothing wrong with hearing it again. It's a refresher. Talk about true humility. True humility. Because listening to the advice of the elders sometimes will cause you to miss some of the pitfalls that you would have, the potholes you would have hit if you listen to the wisdom of the sages and the elders. Because wisdom and truth and guidance can come from anywhere if you're open to it. Now, even today, I'm gonna take you just a little example. Now, a lot of times when I have a little 3-year-old, my son, and sometimes when I'm talking to him and he's doing something, I say, be careful, be careful, be careful. Now, so he's picked that up, that word, be careful, be careful. So as we were getting in the car to go to the appointment this morning, I was getting ready to drive. He said, drive, Mama. I said, yes, drive. I'm about to drive. He said, okay. Be careful, Mama. Be careful out here. Be careful. You drive, be careful. I said, okay, baby, I'm gonna be careful. And you know what? I took extra precaution today. I'm always very safe driver. I took extra precaution because I said, what if spirit is speaking through my 3-year-old to me that I need to put an extra eye on the road today while I'm driving? Because some people, they say, oh, child, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Honey, I've been driving before you come to the world. And you miss your window of opportunity because wisdom came to you from a child. And you thought you were too big and grown enough to take heed. And calamity comes and finds you. So take that piece of gem of advice, wisdom. Learn to be open from wherever it comes from. Pray for guidance. Affirm guidance to come. And when you ask and pray for guidance, be open to wherever that guidance may come from. Sometimes your guidance may come when you're strolling on here aimlessly, and then you pop up and see this live, or pop in somebody's room, or you may be watching TV and your answer will come. That's right, your confirmation will come because you ask for guidance. Now you wait for it. It may come on a commercial. It may come while you're reading a book. It may come when you're in conversation with someone. You never know where your confirmation and where your answer and your guidance is going to come from. You just have to be looking and ready. Live in a posture to receive. Greetings, stay light. So good to see you. Hope you're doing well. You know, our elders used to say, closed mouth don't get fed. You got to open your mouth to put food in. Unless you're getting IVs and you got a feeding tube or a tray. Other than that, you got to open your mouth to eat. So you got to open your mouth and ask the universe for guidance. And then be in a posture to receive. Thank you for the gifts. So closed mouth don't get fed. You got to ask. You got to speak it. And another thing the elders used to always say, you can't receive nothing with closed hands. You don't want to let them go. You're holding it, gripping it tight. But what you don't know is in order to receive, you got to let go and you got to give. You got to open up. You know, some people have the knowledge that you seek and they want to give it to you, but because we are so tight-lipped, closed off, standoffish, and sometimes it's misinterpreted as you're arrogant or you don't want to be bothered, you think you're too good, and you miss your opportunities. That's why I say you got to bring yourself into alignment, in divine alignment. Bring yourself into divine alignment. So, beloved souls, welcome. As you come in the room, please tap the screen. Tap the screen. We want to get up there today. Get the numbers up. And put some comments. Greet us. Whatever comes to your mind, you can put it in the comment section. Help us to push this live stream out into the algorithm. Repost, we share, help us out. We thank you so much for all that you do. So, beloved souls, I invite you right now to come fully into the present moment. And I want you to take a deep breath and inhale this sacred space, the sacred breath of life. And when you exhale, let go of tension, judgment, and fear. We're not here to browbeat you. We're not here to shame you into doing what you need to do for your life. No, we are here showing you as In the church, they used to say, a more excellent way. Showing you a different perspective. Thinking outside of the box. So let go of tension, judgment, and fear right now. And I want you to feel yourself grounded in truth, in the truth of who you are. So as we begin, let us offer this prayer, divine spirit of truth, the divine mother creator, mother, father, creator of the universe, to the divine and God within us, the spirit of healing and truth. We welcome your wisdom into this sacred and safe space, into this virtual sanctuary. And today we affirm that we are becoming the best version of ourselves. Today we affirm that we lay down our masks. We lay down our fears. We put off our need for perfection. We lay down our need to appear perfectly spiritual. And right now in this moment, divine, give us the courage to face our shadows. So that we may be whole. Divine light, guide us to see clearly now, to feel deeply and to confront bravely. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for the gift of truth and healing. Thank you, divine mother, father, creator. Thank you, holy angels. Thank you, guides, spirit guides. Thank you, ancestors who've gone before us. Be with us. Speak to the people in the hearts of all that join us today or watch the replay. And so it is, and so shall it be, and it cannot be otherwise. Amen and Ashe. Blessed be. So today our conversation is one many avoid. But we're not going to do that today. We're not going to avoid. We're talking today about spiritual bypassing. We're talking about spiritual bypassing. The silent sabotager of real healing. Spiritual bypassing is the great sabotager of your real spiritual healing and your inner healing. Spiritual bypassing, it's what happens when you use spiritual language and lingo or practices to avoid doing the real inner work. Because really transforming yourself into your highest ideals, to really go through that metamorphosis to become who you truly are to become in this earthly existence, you have to be willing to do the inner work. It's work. One thing with spirituality and expanded consciousness is not like in the church, honey, in organized religion. It's work. It ain't all Jesus paid it all and that's it. No, it's work, honey. It's work for you to do. And you have to be willing to do the harm. That's why so many people run back to organized religion because they don't want to do the work. They don't want to put the work in. You got to put some, as my father would say, put some elbow grease in to make it happen. You have to do the introspection. Stop playing the blame it game. Start looking at yourself. Say, is it me? You begin to look at yourself and look within your soul and say, like the disciples in the biblical narrative, the apostles around the Last Supper table, when Yeshua, commonly called Jesus, said that Somebody gonna betray me that's at this table, in this circle of friends, somebody gonna betray me. And everybody getting to look around. Is it me? Is it me, Lord? Is it me? So you begin to look within yourself and say, is it me? Am I the problem? Could it be I am my worst enemy? Could it be I am the one who's been holding me back all along and it ain't been nobody else? Could it be? Is it a possibility? Mm. Then you begin to sing the old spiritual, it is me, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Why? Because you begin to take ownership of your life. You begin to take ownership of whatever goes on in your life. Because you know that you are the creator of your own reality, of your own destiny. So many people don't understand what free will is all about. The church teach free will, that we've been given free will, but they never explain it, what that really means. It means that you have the ability to determine your own destiny. That's what free will is about. You weren't created and put on this earth to serve a God outside of yourself. You were put on earth to be God in flesh, having a human experience. You were put here to be divinity in motion. See how that shifts the perspective? And it puts some responsibility on you. That there's no more excuses. So statements like everything happens for a reason is a colloquial phrase that we use and it's spiritual bypassing. Saying, oh, just stay positive. Another phrase that's tied to spiritual bypassing. Saying high vibrations only is another code word for spiritual bypassing. Because these colloquial phrases and spiritual language sounds nice. It sounds great. It sounds spiritual and lovely and inviting. But how many of you know that oftentimes they're just masks we are putting on? Ways to escape instead of engage. How many people have run to religious settings to get away from their house and what's going on in their reality? How many people plan their schedule out so they're always involved in something instead of really sitting with themselves to really face what got them running? Let's think about that. A lot of these phrases are just ways to escape instead of engage. We don't want to engage in what is the problem and how can I be a solution to this problem. See, spiritual bypassing is not spiritual at all. I'm going to say it again. Spiritual bypassing is not spiritual at all. It's fear. Spiritual bypassing, the root of it is fear. Dressed in white robes and coated in affirmations. But at its core, it's spiritual bypassing. So let's uncover, because there's 5 faces of spiritual bypassing that I'm going to deal with. There is 5 faces of bypassing. Number 1, so we're going to uncover the most common ways spiritual bypassing shows up in our life. Number 1, avoiding negative emotions. The number one sign of spiritual bypassing, avoidance, is avoiding negative emotions. Beloved, having negative emotion is natural. When you suppress grief, anger, or sadness, when you suppress those emotions, believing that you can make, or suppressing it can make you more spiritual, is a terrible mistake. Believing that suppressing your anger, your sadness, your grief, instead of dealing with it, you feel if you deal with it, it makes you less spiritual. Or if you admit you have these emotions, it makes you less spiritual. So you suppress it. But what you need to know, emotions are messengers. Motions that move, a flow. Emotions are messengers, indicators to you. Hey, something's wrong. When you got pain in your body, it's a indication that, hey, you need to have this checked out because something's not right in this area. Something about this part of your body needs to be looked at because the pain is an indicator that something is going on. Just like in a car, the engine light goes on. You may not know what exactly is wrong, but hey, something is indicating that you need to get it checked out. So emotions are messengers to us, and we should take heed to the message that it's giving us. These emotions don't make us unspiritual because we experience it and then we admit it. What it does make you, it doesn't make you unspiritual, but what it does make you is honest. So the question is, can you be honest with yourself about your emotions? Can you be honest with yourself about the emotions you are experiencing? Can you sit with that? Let's talk about suppressing grief. Now, my mother, you give you an example. So I don't talk about stuff I don't know about. I'm experienced. My mother passed. I got married when I was 18 years old. Um, I probably was just in my early 20s. And so I'd been married maybe a year or two. She passed away. I had a sister lived away up north, and I had a brother that was still living in the home who was not even graduated from high school yet. And I had a spouse and children. And I was taking care of my father because he moved in with me. My mother's husband, my father, he moved in with me because he was ill. So I was running back from my house with him and to my mom and dad's house with her. And so she passed away, and having to hold everything together because everybody was looking to me, I was not able to grieve properly. I didn't cry. I just had to keep moving. Because I knew if I really sat with my grief, I probably would not be able to handle the things I was facing that I had to be done, and nobody else wanted to do it but me. But it was after that, the first Mother's Day after she passed, which was a couple of months after she passed, a month or two, my spouse took me to the gravesite. And that's when I acknowledged and sat with my grief. Because the next thing I know, I was stretched over my mother's grave, weeping. Because I lost my best friend, my best supporter, who's been there for everything, who allowed me to do things that I know technically didn't quite go along with her church teachings, but she allowed me to do it. So many things. She's just been there, the best friend I ever could have asked for. And I lost that. My rock, I lost that. And so I had to sit with that grief. I had to mourn that loss, or what I thought was a loss. Because then I began to understand from an African spiritual perspective, from our culture, that they are not gone. Your ancestors are not gone. They have transitioned from one existence to another because energy doesn't die. Spirit was not born, so it cannot die. Energy just transmute. Energy just changes forms from one to the other. And that helped me deal with my grieving process. But you got to sit with it. Acknowledge it. Because you're not only divine, but you're human as well. And you have emotions. You're not a robot. Don't let nobody tell you not to cry. Men, don't let nobody tell you you're not supposed to cry. I'm more concerned if you don't cry. That's what I'm concerned. If you don't cry, what's wrong with you, honey? Do you have some things you have to work out that's blocking you from being able to express your feelings? Because a lot of times we bottle it up, put bandages over it with spiritual language and colloquial phrases and spiritual practices. But honey, rip the band-aid off and let your wound heal. Face whatever you're going through. That's what's important. So the first thing we do when spiritual bypass shows up is avoiding negative emotions. Try to pretend that everything is positive, everything is good, everything is great. You know, I look at people cross-eyed, and every time you ever see them and talk to them, well, everything's wonderful, everything's fine, oh, life is great. Knowing good and well, they're on the ledge, at the edge, and this one little thing will topple them over. So avoiding negative emotions. Number 2, toxic positivity. Toxic positivity. Did you even know that positivity, if you use it in a certain way, could be toxic? Overusing love and light. Y'all know in the spiritual community, oh, love and light. But overusing it, love and light, to cover deep wounds. It's not light at all. It's avoidance in disguise. I'm going to say that again. Overusing love and light to cover up deep wounds is not light and love at all. It's avoidance in disguise. See, pain needs to be felt. Pain needs presence, not platitudes. Pain needs presence, not platitudes. You need to be able to sit with that. I say, yes, that hurt me. Yes, that experience affected me. Yes, what they said hurt our feelings. Or how things was handled, or how it was said, or how things were done. Begin to articulate it. And I know some people on this live or watching the replay may say, oh, well, I struggle with expressing my emotion. Well, you may struggle, but the question is, are you doing the necessary practice to overcome this struggle? Because one of the things that a lot of times, if we're honest, if we're not taught in our homes and communities, especially the particular community you come from, is that we're not taught effective communication skills. Anybody can agree with that? Or is this just me? Oftentimes, we are not taught effective communication skills. So we don't know how to express our emotions correctly. We just bottle up until all of a sudden we can't suppress it no more, and then it busts open. That's right. Sometimes they have a range of emotions. That's right. But learning how to articulate and this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm feeling. And I may not be able to put it all in words, but try to express that. Even in your relationships, being able to express your emotions or what are you feeling. Because a lot of times we just leave the partner in the dark and they don't know what's going on, what's happening. And because of that, it makes them feel that they did something wrong. When it's just that you're having emotion or, roller coaster and you just don't know yet how to explain it or what exactly is. Or sometimes just go and tell that to your partner. I don't know what it is. I'm experiencing something, a range of emotions, and I just, I need some time to figure it out. And we can reconvene. These are the things that help your relationship, not hinder it. So the first thing, avoiding negative emotion. The second thing, toxic positivity. The third thing is blaming it on the universe. Saying, oh, is this just my karma? Or it's God's plan? Or God is using this to take me higher? Why do God need to send pain and destruction and hurtful things your way for you to learn lessons, for you to, to bring you higher? Come on, let's think about the things in which we are saying. Let's think about the things in which we are, spouting off and using as an avoidance tool. Don't blame it on the universe. Oh, it's my karma, it's God's plan. No, sometimes it's because of what you did. Because the law of cause and effect. You made a poor decision, and this is your repercussions. This is the fruit of what you planted. This is the harvest of what you planted. So yes, you got to reap that. Oh yes. It's a power thing to confront. Because no, everything is not, quote unquote, God's plan. It is a fruit of our actions. The thoughts that you entertain in your mind and the words in which you speak create your reality. So the thoughts that you thought yesterday and you entertained and the words you spoke yesterday have created the reality in which you're living today. And so on and so on and so on down to the life. See, it takes it out of the hands of the mysterious and place it with you. So you have to be more conscious of how you are created, because remember, you're co-created with the divine. So the question is, what are you creating? How are you creating? No, it's not just your karma. It's not just God's plan. It is what you put in motion. Like I gave the example, I used to have a sister-in-law, honey, that she was gossiping about everybody and anything, and then when somebody started talking about her, she fall apart. And I said, What's diabolical is you had the nerve to run your mouth about everybody and to think nobody was going to talk about you. Will you get a grip? You put it in motion. You put yourself out in the universe to be attacked. Because whatever you plant, you will reap. When you do ugly things come back to you. But this is the thing, it just don't come back in the same measure in which you gave it. A lot of times it come back 10 times worse than what you sent out. So be careful. Be sure that you can handle what you put out. Be sure you can handle what you put out, because sure as I am living and breathing, you're watching me. What you do gonna come back around to you. I remember I heard somebody say, "Well, honey, I don't believe in karma. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it, honey." I said, "Oh, okay." But when that thing come around flying around back at you, you gonna find out. See, no accountability, no reflection, just convenient detachment from growth. Blaming it on the universe. It's what you're trying to escape accountability for your actions. Blaming on, oh, it's just God's plan, causes you not to reflect on your behavior. It is just a convenient detachment from growth. Because avoiding it, blaming it on the universe, blaming it on God, or whatever you want to blame it on, whatever you want to say, is not helping you grow. It is moving you further from growth. Because you refuse to acknowledge the fact that you had a hand in your own demise. Oh, think about that. To acknowledge that I had a hand in my own demise. That I was the one keeping me back. I blamed my mama, my sister, my brother, my cousins, my daddy, everybody, my co-worker, my spouse, everybody, my children, for why I am stuck and stagnated and in the same cycle year after year after year. But when you begin to self-reflect and take accountability, you see, I have been my own worst enemy. And it has not been nobody else but me that have caused my heartache and pain. It is a revelation that many people avoid. But if you take it and accept it and do something about it, you can change your own life just like that. So, 1, avoiding negative emotions. 2, toxic positivity. 3, blaming it on the universe. 4, escapism through practices. Yes, prayer, meditation, affirmations, sound baths, all of these things are great and helpful for your healing. But the problem is when you use these tools to run from discomfort. That's where the problem lies. When you use these spiritual tools and outlet to run from your problem and the discomfort that the reality of the pain is causing you, that's where the problem lies. Where the tools for healing now becomes a hindrance to you because you're misappropriating your tools. You're misusing the tools in which you had to work with. Greetings, Miss Kia. So good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Praying for you and your family. See, these tools, they become another form of denial when you try to use it to cover up and run from the discomfort. So don't give into escapism through practices. When things are happening in your life and you don't know why, do not just take the easy way out and use the colloquial phrase, oh, it's all in God's hands. It's all in your hands. It's all in your hands. And the question is, what are you doing about it? You're just using these phrases in spiritual language to avoid the inevitable. See, they say, oh, it's all in God's hand. That's escapism. You're looking for an outside entity to do what you have been given the power to do. You want to put it off on something else or someone else. Escapism through practices. So avoiding negative emotion, number one. Number two, toxic positivity. Number three, blaming it on the universe. Number four, escapism through practices. And number five, the fifth phase of bypassing, spiritual bypassing, is silencing others' pain. Silencing other people's pain with spiritual platitudes. That is the fifth phase of spiritual bypass and how it shows up. Silencing other people's pains with spiritual platitudes. How many of us can confess that we have engaged in this act of silencing other people's pain by using spiritual platitudes? By using remarks or statements of a moral content that's used too often to be seem thoughtful. Use an example, spiritual bypass, when somebody passes or dies. That's why ignorantly uses it. When somebody passes or dies, nobody needs you coming to the house and saying, oh, don't cry. They're in a better place. How does that help me that's grieving by you saying, don't cry, they're in a better place? Yes, I'm going to cry because I'm human. Yes, I'm going to cry because I miss them. It ain't about them in a better place. It's about me have to now adjust to living a life without them in the physical form. So stop trying to silence other people's pain with your platitudes. Stop telling people that agree with me, oh, we all got to go this way one day. Again, how is that helping me? I know we all one day we all got to leave this world. What I got to do with what I'm my grief? That doesn't help someone who's grieving. See, this is the things that we have to face. And this is another big one. Oh, Johnny, he's up in heaven looking down on us. Now, well, you said that when you're dead, you're done. You said the dead don't know nothing. So how is Johnny somewhere in the sky looking at us if you say the ancestors, the dead don't know what going on in the living? That's what the church teaches. If that's the case, why do you say they're in a better place and they're looking down after us? They now a God and angel. See, it don't make sense. It don't add up. Which one is it, really? Spiritual platitudes trying to silence our pain. Don't let nobody silence your pain, beloved. Don't let nobody give you spiritual platitudes to cause you to abruptly abandon your healing process. Because that is what, when people are trying to silence your pain through spiritual platitudes, they are trying to abruptly stop your healing process. Don't let anybody stop you from going through your process. Because remember, according to, what was his name? Kubler-Ross. There is 5 stages of grief. You have denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. And you have to go through your stages. Your stage of denial. This can't be real. No, this a lie. This not happening to me. Then you move to anger. See, all of these emotions you got to go through. You angry. The person died. You're angry. Your spouse divorced you. You angry. Your children don't want to be bothered. Or your children not getting along. You're angry that your co-workers are trying to throw you under the bus. You're angry that they're on breathing down your neck. You're angry that you all alone and things are not working out for you. Your business may have flopped. Your ideas flop. Angry. But you got to go through that emotion. You got to admit and announce that. Sit with that. Then you move to bargaining. Trying to bargain your way. Bargain with life. Bargain with the universe. Bargain with the creator. Bargaining with other people. Then you move into depression. Depressed about how things worked out or did not work out. Depressed about how life is going and your status in life. You thought you would be further than you are right now. You thought at this big grown on age you would be knocking it out the park and achieving your goals big time. But life has not moved in your favor like that. So now you're depressed. So you go through these stages and then you come to acceptance. It didn't work out. Yes, they may left me because it may not been meant to be, or maybe we just wasn't working hard enough to make it work. Because sometimes it ain't always something wasn't meant to be. Sometimes you didn't put in the necessary work to make it work. If we're honest, if we're being honest, if we're going to be honest, put all the cards on the table. Sometimes it did not work because we truly didn't want it to work. We wanted a way out. And when the first opportunity came, we took it. You know what I know? A lot of people are afraid of commitment. And that just didn't start with this generation. People are afraid of commitment to anything. They don't want to be committed to any community, any group, any organization, even down to a job, even down to accomplishing their own dream. They're not committed to anything. And that's why they don't see the success that they want to see, because they're not committed and sold out to anything. So again, don't let nobody silence your pain. Don't let nobody tell you not to cry. Don't let nobody tell you to get over it. You should be over it by now. Because everybody's process is different. And you must honor your process, your due process. Honor it. If it's taking you longer, so be it. Go through your process so that you can complete your healing process and be completely, fully healed from the inside out. So let's talk about why spiritual bypassing is so dangerous. Because believe it or not, it is dangerous. Let's be clear. Spiritual bypassing is not harmless. It's dangerous because it suppresses emotions, which resurfaces down the line. And guess what? When it resurfaces as anxiety. It resurfaces as depression. It resurfaces as physical illness. Don't you know when you suppress your emotions that it can turn physical? A lot of people have physical issues because of spiritual problems that they avoided addressing. Now I'm talking about metaphysically now. Now let me go with some people here. You now have a physical problem because you neglected and avoided dealing with the spiritual issue. And now it's moved down into the physical. Because remember, anything that comes down into the physical happens spiritually first, in your spiritual body. Then comes down into the physical body. Greetings, nephew JJ. So happy to see you. It's the pretty boy Jay. Hope you're doing well. So we have to understand that a lot of people that are having heart issues, they first was dealing with something spiritually heart-wise. But they didn't address it. Now they're having physical heart issues because they didn't want to address the real problem. You avoided and suppressed your emotions. Now it's resurfaced by anxiety, depression, and physical illness. You didn't deal with your anger issue and your temper. Now you deal with rage. All because you avoided doing the necessary, doing the needful. So spiritual bypassing is not harmless. It is dangerous. It's dangerous because it creates a false sense of enlightenment that leads to stagnation. So you think spiritual bypassing, you really becoming enlightened, but what you're really doing is being stagnated. Your growth is being stunted by spiritual bypassing. Your growth is being stunted. You're being stagnated. You cannot grow because you avoid addressing what's needful to be addressed. Instead of addressing, you avoid it, and this is why you can't grow. So many people are trying to find out why their organization won't grow, why they ministry, their spiritual gifts, the projects they're trying to accomplish. Why doesn't it grow? Because you are avoiding dealing with the issue of why your business, your project, your ministry, whatever you do, your spiritual gifts, why it's not progressing. You avoiding and ignoring the problem, and you will not address it. And because of that, it has stagnated your growth and stunted your growth, and you will not prosper and go to the heights of where you know you could be because you avoid conflict. Conflict is a part of life. All conflicts are not bad. It should help make you into a better person, to see things differently. A lot of people don't like conflict. So we have to be willing not to allow spiritual bypassing to cause us to feel a sense of enlightenment. Because it's an illusion. It's not enlightenment. It's stagnation. So spiritual bypassing is dangerous because it damages relationships, making you emotionally unavailable or dismissive. Oh, I gotta say that again. I have to say that again. Spiritual bypassing is dangerous because it damages relationships. Because it makes you seem insensitive to people's needs and their issues. Because you won't address and you avoid your problem, then you trying to silence other people's pain and cause them to avoid and neglect facing the issue. So it damages relationships, making you emotionally unavailable or dismissive. Don't you know sometimes we are interacting with people that's emotionally unavailable? They may be physically available, but emotionally, they checked out. So don't just try to figure out if somebody is physically available. See if they're emotionally available. Do they have anything to give emotionally? Do they have the capacity to love? Because if you're emotionally unavailable, you can't even give love. Because why? You cut off from the source of love, of compassion. You're emotionally unavailable. You don't have enough room within the capacity to love someone else because you're struggling with self-love and avoiding dealing with your issues. How can you be there for me when you can't be there for yourself? Woo. Let's say that again. How are you going to be there for me? How are you going to be a support system for me when you can't be a support system and show up for yourself? How? That's just like, some of these spiritual coaches or preachers, whatever they calling themselves, they want to counsel people, tell them about marriages, but their marriages is in a shambles. They just keeping up appearances. How you gonna guide somebody else when you ain't never had a successful marriage? You can tell me what not to do, what didn't work for you, but you can't teach me how to have a successful marriage when you ain't had one. How you gonna tell me how to be a good business person and have a big good business when you never had a successful business? All your business flop. Every time you look, you're starting a new business. How you gonna tell me how to be a good spiritual leader when every time you look, you having a grand opening? I never understand that. You've been doing this ministry under the same name and all of this stuff for how long? Same place how long? And you having a grand opening for what? How many grand openings you gonna have, hon? How many grand openings you gonna have? It's the truth anyhow. Greetings, Apostle Essence Raw. Hope you're doing well, dear. So these are the things we have to begin to consider. Not only does spiritual bypassing cause you to damage your relationships, making you emotionally unavailable, but what it also does, it makes you dismissive. Think about that. It not only damages your relationships and makes you emotionally unavailable, but it causes you to be dismissive. It causes you to ignore people's feelings, to be heartless. You're dismissive to people. You don't show no feelings or that you have any regards for other people's opinions or feelings. That's why so many people's businesses and projects are failing because they're dismissive. They act like other people's opinion or voice is unworthy for consideration. People like that, I let them go ahead and fall right on their face. Go ahead, because you're going to learn today. You're going to have to learn. Some people have to learn the hard way, unfortunately. Some people have not learned the skill of learning from other people's mistakes. They have to be the one to go head first into it. And that's some of our biggest issue. Instead of learning from the mistakes of others, we have to go and learn it the hard way. People love to say, experience is the best teacher. No, it ain't. Learning to watch and learn from other people's mistakes is the best teacher. Being able to look at how things didn't work out for them and be able to pick out the pitfalls and go around them. Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel where so many people that went before us and they left a roadmap and a compass for us? But we have allowed indoctrination, organized religion, and racism, and all these other things, the beauty standards of the world, of the West, trying to chase the American dream. All these things have confused our mind from really being connected to our source and our compass, our guides. So we've left the roadmap to success to chase a dream that's unattainable because it ain't real. Think about it, it's not real. The funny thing is, a lot of people are poking their nose in other people's business, worrying about what everybody else is doing, instead of focusing on their life. I don't have time to worry about who's sleeping with who. Who you going to bed with is none of my concern, baby. You do you. I don't have nothing. I don't have no concern in that. And the God of your understanding don't either. Because you have free will and the right to sleep with whoever you want to sleep with. As long as you ain't causing no harm to nobody. See, the organized religion and church have taught us to be concerned with other people's affairs. Poking your nose and stuff that don't belong, don't have nothing to do with you. It has taught us to pretend and act like we're holding in the now. Like we don't have problems, we don't have issues. So you become dismissive. Spiritual bypassing is dangerous because it blocks collective healing by silencing conversations around injustice. I'm going to say it again. Spiritual bypassing is dangerous because it blocks collective healing and progress. And how do we do it? By silencing conversations around injustice. Everybody want to march for justice. You want to march for rights. But are you marching and talking about justice and rights for everybody that's included, even if it don't go along with your neatly checked religious box? Think about it. Are you willing to have the conversation about the injustices that are happening to everywhere, everyone? Question for us to consider. And these are all what is stopping our progress. It stops the collective from healing together because it brings division. So saying we all one, we all in this together, while ignoring racism, poverty, or abuse is spiritual gaslight. I'm going to say it again. Using the phrase, oh, we all one, we all in this together. By saying that, while we ignore racism, while we ignore poverty, while we ignore abuse of any kind, while we ignore the marginalized groups and their rights, even if it don't fit in our religious ideology and indoctrination, it's spiritual gaslighting. How many of us have experienced it? How many of us has participated in that? Spiritual gaslighting. Oh, that's right. No compassion. No compassion. We say we all have free will, but yet you want to use your religious doctrine to stop somebody else's free will. Well, how does that make sense? How does that make sense? It's funny when, religious people, especially our dear Christian brothers and sisters, love to say, they going to vote against somebody else's right because the Bible says. Well, honey, don't you know everybody don't believe in the Bible? Everybody don't practice what you practice. Everybody don't believe in what you believe. They don't believe in the indoctrination and dogma that you've been fooled into believing. So think about it. See, we have to be willing to face the shadow. Because the shadow is not evil. It's unacknowledged pain. Your shadow is not evil. It's just unacknowledged pain that you've hidden and packed away. When we shine our light into those hidden dark spaces of our life, we then begin to do the real alchemy of healing, as we talked about yesterday, spiritual alchemy, turning pain into power. So when we shine the light of truth in the hidden spaces, the dark spaces in our life, we begin the real alchemy of healing. And beloved, that's where the real power is. It's not in pretending we're okay when we know we're not. Saying that we're doing fine and all is well when you're at the verge of a breakdown. But the real power is in being real enough to admit when we're not doing well. We have to be able to do that. If we want real true power, it's when we're able to admit, listen, I'm not okay. Listen, life has been hitting me real hard. I feel like I'm on the verge. Instead of a breakthrough, a breakdown, I need some support. And you may say today, how do I start? What do I do to start this process? Well, let me give you 5 things. Number 1, feel to heal. That's the way to healing. To feel in order to heal. Feel to heal. Stop running from it. Sit in your sadness. Sit in your rage. Sit in your anger. Sit in your fear. Acknowledge it. Those feelings that you feel are sacred. Those emotions you experience are sacred. Sit with it. As I said earlier, if you don't, it's going to pop up. It's going to pop up as anxiety, depression, rage, other things. And that's right, Dr. Stacy. Your emotions are messengers. And if you're experiencing those emotions, it's a message in it. So, even if you're scared, admit it. Acknowledge it. Know that it's okay. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be scared. It's okay. And sit with that experience, sit with that feeling. So number 1, feel to heal. Number 2, reflect deeply. Learn to reflect deeply. Move from the surface and go deep diving. Ask yourself, where am I spiritually bypassing in my life? Where am I spiritual bypassing in my life? Where am I using spiritual tools, principles, and practices to avoid dealing with the real thing here? See, if you really want to start the process, this is what you have to ask yourself. So, number one, feel to heal. Number two, reflect deeply. Number three, get support. There's an old saying that no man, non-gender Pacific, no man is an island by himself. Or if we go to our African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. Or if we go to another proverb, a problem shared. Problem shared is a problem solved, something like that. So learn to get support. Everybody's not out to get you. That's something that we gotta unlearn. Everyone is not out to get you. Everyone is not out to get you. So lose that idea. Get support for help when you need it. So we have to be willing to do that. Are we willing to do that? That's why I was looking up the quote, make sure I was quoting right. A problem shared is a problem halved or solved. A joy shared is a joy doubled. Or a problem shared is a problem half solved. So learn to get support. Healing is communal. Don't try to do it alone. Seek support and help when you need it. There's somebody out there that's willing to support you in your healing journey. So, number one, feel to heal. Two, reflect deeply. Three, get support. Number four, practice integration. A lot of people like to say that when it comes to the ego, they like to say, oh, the ego. But the ego has to be integrated. The ego has to be integrated. So use spiritual tools as support, not escapism. Again, use spiritual tools as support to help you in your healing process, not to escape your problems. So, number one, feel to heal. Number two, reflect deeper. Number three, get support. Number four, practice integration. And number five, be compassionate with yourself. Now, that's a powerful one. Be compassionate with yourself. Learn to give some compassion to yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself because we're our own worst critic. I know you've heard that before, but it's true. It's just not a cliche. Learn to stop and give some compassion to yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. Shadows exist because they were never loved. Again, shadows exist because you never gave love to that part of yourself. Be the one to love them back into life. Be the one to love them back into the light. So be compassionate with yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself some room to grow. Give yourself some elbow room to grow. Because remember, we're on a lifelong journey. It's not just a walk down into the park. This is a lifelong journey. It's a journey of love, a journey of healing, a journey of evolution and evolving, a journey of awakening. See, integration equals liberation. Integration equals liberation. Wholeness is not light without darkness. Again, wholeness is not light without darkness. Wholeness is learning to walk with both. That's what wholeness is. Learning to be able to walk with the dark and the light. Learning to walk with both. To be a sacred dance. Wholeness is learning to embrace your full humanity and your divinity. That's what wholeness looks like. Being able to embrace your humanity fully and your divinity. Because you're more than just another human. You're a divine being, and learning how that works with each other and balancing that. You're not going to be up here all the time. Sometimes you're going to feel a little down there, but learning how to balance that and know that you're still who you are, no matter what part of the spectrum you're on right now. Beloved, remember this, if you don't remember nothing else. You are not broken. You're just layered. You're not broken, you're layered. You're beautifully human. And your freedom lives on the other side of your willingness to go deep within and heal. That is where you will find your true freedom. When you're willing to go beyond the surface and then stop avoiding and start addressing, that is where you will truly embrace your whole healed self. So I'm going to give you some prompts. I want you to take a moment of sacred silence and ask yourself these questions. Or you can write it down on your journal or whenever you can so you can think on it. Where have I used spiritual bypassing to avoid my pain? Where have I used spiritual bypassing to avoid my pain? That's one good question. 2, what part of me is asking to be seen, felt, and healed? What part of my being is crying out for attention, crying out to be seen, felt, and healed? Think about it. The third question I'll give you is, where have I dismissed others' pain? Where have I dismissed other people's pain? Where have I tried to silence other people's pain because I was uncomfortable with my own? Ooh. My. Where have I dismissed other people's pain? Where have I tried to silence other people's pain because I was uncomfortable with my own pain? So I didn't want to hear about yours. I didn't want to see you dealing with yours because I didn't want to deal with mine. Think about it. Because remember, spirituality and expanded consciousness, we take responsibility. We have to take ownership if we're going to see change. And if you can, journal these questions and take time throughout your night or whenever you have your sacred space time, a moment of meditation, silence, sacred silence. I want you to think on these questions. Let it speak to you and contemplate on it deeply and write your response. And just sit in that awareness. Because guess what? You're on a journey of healing yourself. Now, before we come to the end, I want to give you an affirmation today, to this evening, today. Give you wherever you're watching, whether it's morning, noon, evening, night, wherever you're watching in the world, because we have people that watch, especially on YouTube, from all over the world. So wherever you're watching from, I'm going to give you this affirmation to solidify this teaching in your heart. So repeat after me. I am no longer hiding behind light. I am becoming whole again. I honor my emotions. I face my truth. I release shame, guilt, and denial. My shadow is not my enemy. It is my teacher. I walk now the path of authenticity, not performance. And right now in this moment, I choose radical healing over spiritual illusion. I am healing. I am awakening. I am arising. I am free. And so it is, and so shall it be. And it cannot be otherwise. Amen and Ashe. Blessed be. As we prepare to close today, I want to give you this closing prayer that you may take this presence, this sacred moment in time we've been shared together with you. Divine Mother, Father, Spirit of truth, love, light, and healing, thank you for your awakening the truth of who we are in our hearts, uniting our hearts with truth today. Thank you, kind Spirit, for the courage to feel deeply and live fully. We affirm, we ask, and we declare the grace that we may continue this fight, continue this path, and may we remember that true light comes from when we accept and when we stop running from the dark and embrace the darkness, because out of the proverbial blackness comes the light. And so it is, so shall it be. Cannot be otherwise. Amen and Ashe. Thank you, Divine Mother, Father, Creator. Blessed be. So everyone, we want to thank you today for joining us. Thank you for your support. Every like, every share, every tap, every repost. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you joined us at the end, the middle, wherever, you can always go to YouTube because we're live simultaneously on YouTube and TikTok every day, Monday through Friday, 12 noon. You can go and watch the replay over on YouTube. We're so happy and excited to have you. Thank you for being with us and sharing this time, this sacred moment in this virtual sanctuary, learning, exploring, and engaging. We're so happy for you. If you want to support this platform, you can do so by sending your love gifts to Cash App. It's $ capital VSY, lowercase ISRAEL 2021. Again, it is Cash App $ capital VSY, lowercase ISRAEL 2021. It is in our bio, I believe. It is on the flyers on our page, and in each video, it's on the screen for those, because I know sometimes I speak fast. So if you want to reference it, and if you want to give, if you don't use Cash App and you want to still give through pay, no, not PayPal. If you want to give to Zelle, reach out to us, let us know, or leave a comment or some message, and we'll get you the information for Zelle to be able to support this platform, because your support helps us do the necessary things we want to do to expand our reach, that we can do things to help get this message out to the world and to people that listen, there's a better way than being indoctrinated in dogma, in prison, in mental prison, through mental colonization and programming, that you can reprogram yourself. You can rewire yourself. And so that's our mission, and that's our aim, to help those that are deconstructing from harmful theology, philosophies, and indoctrination, and trying to rebuild their faith, their life in a holistic way, and experience spirituality from an expanded consciousness perspective. That's what we're here for, teaching African cosmology, teaching New Thought, teaching you about Christ consciousness and the divine within you. That is what we are here for. And so, bless you. If you want to make us your spiritual home, if you've been looking for a spiritual home, a community in which you can have a spiritual advisor, teacher, and a community that you can grow with and experience spirituality from a different perspective in freedom and liberation, you found the right place, the Soul Awakening Sanctuary Movement. So reach out to us today so we can get you the information you need to be a full community member with us and enjoy all of the things and the perks of being a part of our community. We love each and every one of you, and we are so happy to have you in our life and for you to share this space with us together. So don't forget, join us tomorrow, 12 noon. We'll be right here. And I'll come back for some more. Not sure what the topic is going to be, but it's going to be we're just building. We're just building. Every day we're building on Solomon Temple, which is the spiritual house within. And so we love you all. And always remember that you are powerful, you are creative. You are the epitome of the divine consciousness that created the universe. You are God in flesh, having a human experience. And never let anyone, any ideology, any philosophy, any theology, or anyone's negative opinion tell you differently. If it is true that you are made and created in the image of the divine, of the creator, that makes you a co-creator with the divine. And you have greatness on the inside of you. You are destined to do great exploits in the earth. You were created. Your name is great, and everybody else around you know that you're great. Whether they admit it or not, the question is, can you acknowledge, admit, and affirm that truth for yourself over your life? And can you walk it out every day, unapologetically? Stand on your square and live in your power. I love you all. Know that the presence of God, the divine in me, loves the presence of God, the divine in you. And you keep arising, keep awakening, and keep elevating, evolving, and becoming your highest ideal and your highest self. Amen. Ashe. So tomorrow, peace be with you. Love you all.